Welcome back, you Preston haters, to another episode of Video Game World Tours, a series where we slow down and soak in a game's environment. Today's tour takes us to the slide capital of the world, the Commonwealth from Fallout 4. What better place to start than the beginning of the game? This game's intro is interesting in that it's the first time we get to interact with the world before the bombs fell. And no, Tranquility Lane from Fallout 3 doesn't count. And also no, any other moments that I'm forgetting about don't count either. It's weird to see Fallout like this. The aesthetic of the series is downtrodden and dilapidated, but this is colorful, well maintained. There was always a part of me that wanted to see what life was like before the war in previous games. I couldn't help but feel that, seeing all the crumpled buildings. What would all of this have looked like back in its heyday? And this game gives us a taste of that. Super cool opening sequence. Let's take a look at Nate and Nora's house while we're here. Just what does this house say about them? Well, they appreciate art. They have a ton of paintings all over the house. Editing Preston here. I initially had a bit in the script where I pointed out all the paintings in the house and talked about my favorite one, but when I came back to record footage, all the paintings were changed. So I guess there's some amount of randomization to the way the house is decorated, or the paintings at least. Funnily enough, I did point out that there were 2 duplicates of lighthouse paintings, but now, in this new version of their house, there's like 50, and they're all of the same lighthouse. Look, from here you can see 3 paintings that are exactly the same. And I swear, there's like one in every room. Look at all of these. Nate and Nora are the world's biggest fans of this particular lighthouse. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled video. What's in here? Some nasty metal chairs? Unlabeled cans? Yep, that's a closet alright. Sean's room is cute. Well kept for a kid's room. Oh my god, he really is an ugly baby. Does that mean to say? He looks like a plastic doll that came to life. Maybe give him back to the stork and try again. Pray for a less synthetic baby. The bathroom. I feel like there's something missing in this corner. They should have something here. It's empty and it bothers me. A weight scale that only goes up to 200. Wait, the scale of the scale is off here. It starts off at, I think that's a 0? So it goes from 0 to 60, that's an increase of 60. 60 to 100, that's 40. 40 more between 140, and 60 from 140 to 200. The pips between the labeled weights aren't consistent. I hope someone got fired for that blunder. Another closet. This one has a Mr. Handy box. Ooh, the text is actually legible. No super juicy Easter eggs, unfortunately. Guess someone's been trying to fix the AC. Wonder how that's been going for them. And the living room. It's so weird seeing perfectly clean models of things you've been used to seeing tattered and in pieces. Like this looks like a super comfy couch. I don't know if anyone in the wasteland has sat in a comfy couch. Oh yeah, ignore the getup. Nate's just doing a bit of time traveling, no big deal. Enough relaxing. What juicy details are waiting to be discovered in here? The TV is nice. The newscaster is frozen in place though. He's not normally like that, just a side effect of the time travel, I think. Some wines. Old Appalachia. An early hint towards Fallout 76? Could they have been thinking that far ahead with the series? Perchance. Nothing super interesting on the countertops here. You can drink sink water. That's yummers. Fridge is, looking kinda sad. Ooh, some notes. Just some groceries. They need to call a repairman for the HVAC. Guess whoever was trying to fix the AC couldn't handle it. I could fix it. I'm just, busy. With things and stuff. A globe. This is supposedly the 1950s. I wonder if there's been any country boundaries that have changed since then that should be reflected on this old globe. Guess I need to do some research and look for some changes between then and now. Apparently, Sudan split in 2011 and South Sudan became a thing. Here's North and South Sudan on a modern map. And let's see if they're on this 1950s globe. How about that? It's still one country. Good on the texture artist for getting that right. Any other countries? Oh, the whole Soviet Union thing. Ukraine is right there, but could it have had separate borders from Russia at the time? I don't know. Historians out there, how does this map of the region look for the time period? The fact that Sudan hasn't split in two makes me think this globe is mostly accurate, but who can say? Definitely not me. That's all I got for the house. But what about just outside the house? You're kind of pushed through this section in a hurry, so let's truly explore. This is the house I usually center my base around in this town, considering the workshop is right here. Nice place though. A shame it's practically falling apart in 200 years. This house literally did fall apart. It's collapsed. You just get to scrap it and the whole lot becomes empty. Wonder what the current homeowner would think of that. Oh, and the little cul-de-sac at the end. Say, this road feels too narrow for cars, right? I know it's a joke that America builds roads as wide as airplane runways, but this feels particularly narrow. I guess for this goofy little thing it wouldn't matter as much, but this vehicle? I don't know. And look at how long it is. This definitely looks longer than any normal car I've seen. And what the hell is that? It has an airplane joystick with a TV screen? No pedals, no controls, no legroom? What abominable creation have I stumbled onto? Look at the trunk, it's so Look, I can't. This is too much. Whoever made this personally targeted me. They knew I'd be making this video in 2024 and really inspect this car. So thanks for that. Okay, enough of this pre-war nonsense. Let's see how a settlement functions after the bombs dropped. Diamond City. You know, I've played this game a lot, but I'm not super familiar with this place. Granted, I haven't spent 10 hours in it like I did in Megaton, linked to that video in the cards. Though it does feel appropriately lively compared to other Fallout towns. There are a lot of people walking around. I particularly like all the outdoor shops. It brings life to the city, having them all outside like this, rather than being locked away in their own interiors. Speaking of interiors, let's look at some. It's been a while since I really walked around here, trying to remember anything interesting. Man, there are a lot of homes in this space. Most of them are for named NPCs. That's kinda cool. They have somewhere to go when they're done with their routine. Oh, Kellogg's house, I remember that. It's, not very homely in here. He did live here for a bit. You'd think he'd want to have it feel less like a factory break room. But maybe that's his jam, more power to him. Of course, he's got a secret hidey room. All the ammo and supplies you'd need. Well, I took most of it back when I was first here, but he did have it, I promise. Oh, Jesus, gave me a jump scare. Why keep a fully clothed mannequin back there? I wish I could ask him. I'll leave this fellow to his business. Honestly, I'm not too interested in the central area of Diamond City. I want to scour the sides of it. There's a couple of apartments up here. I'll just pick a random one to go in. Here. Oh my god, I have to admit, I wasn't expecting this. I was planning on talking about how boring the random people's houses are, but can't really call this boring. There's just so many cats. I don't know how a normal person who doesn't jump on furniture would be expected to get through here. And sure, paintings of cats, why not? Oh, that's cute. I love when cats do the little kicking thing. This spot will go especially well with a couple spots later in the video. I didn't even plan that, honestly. I just stumbled into this spot with the later ones already picked out. God Howard must have decided to bless me today. Alright, let's head outside. Ugh, what? You can't walk up the stands there? What a buzzkill. This is an interesting place for a picnic table. I probably wouldn't have lunch here, but Wastelanders can't be choosers, I guess. Actually, they can be. They can choose not to have lunch over nasty sewer water. I'm not giving them enough credit. This table doesn't have to be here. I'm not letting Fallout 4 gaslight me today. Okay, they got a pretty sizable farm here. Level designers were showing off by including where the people of Diamond City get their food. Ugh, all that trash up there? Would they seriously not have cleaned this up by now? Look, I hate to ask this. I really do, but it's something I can't help but think while I'm in the biggest dwelling in the Commonwealth. Is this appropriate development for a society 200 years separated from nuclear war? I feel like everyone should be much further ahead in terms of, well, everything. Better materials for buildings, taller buildings, and just a nicer environment. Like, look at this awful pathway. It's built of scrap pieces of wood that would inevitably break down after enough foot traffic. Why isn't this just dirt? Or concrete even? Could they make concrete? I don't know. I'd probably want to figure out something better than this if I was living here all my life. And just all this loose trash. Look at this. Come on, somebody would have cleaned this up by now. I guess it does raise a point of what to do with trash in the post-apocalypse. Like, you're not going to be having trash trucks picking up your waste every week. But you know who'd figure out a solution? People in the post-apocalypse with a trash problem. But it seems like the people here aren't too interested in that. Alright, I guess what's going on here isn't really a problem with what the level designers did, but more so a top-level problem with the art direction for the series. This is just what Fallout looks like. It's run-down buildings with trash all over the place. I'm sure Bethesda would feel weird deciding to make a super civilized and clean settlement for general wastelanders. But in-world, I think people would want that. They'd want to have nice houses and clean streets. If Diamond City were a real place, I think they'd be much better off, especially considering it's been 200 years since the bombs dropped. If the next game takes place in a similar time frame, I say let society be rebuilt a bit. Truly explore what that'd look like. I'm sure you could find your own spin on it. Though, big picture, I can appreciate what they did with Diamond City here. It's a super unique town, being built right in Fenway Park. This game really does its best to include important locations to the area. I will say, if this game truly cared about representing Boston and its culture, it would have included the Boston Cop Slide, or a Dunkin' at least. Regardless, it's a vibe. Wait, how is that sign being powered? Next up are some rapid-fire spots before we visit one of my favorites in the game. The first one takes us back to Sanctuary. Oof, yeah, this place didn't do so well after the war. Guess we can check up on the old home real quick. Some of the paintings are still here. F indeed. Aw, the notes on the fridge are still there. That's sad. I wonder if the repairman got the AC fixed in the past 200 years. But none of this is why we're here. I actually wanted to head up to the vault on the hill. From here, you might notice a little something nearby. A chair and some water. Tiny little outpost set up here overlooking Sanctuary. As well as a railroad marking. This is Deacon's doing. You can actually catch him spying on you throughout the game before you meet him, so it makes sense he'd set up shop here, in the place most players are likely to build their first major settlement. I imagine he got a ton of intel from watching Nate mull about his old neighborhood. Super cool little detail to include. This isn't a marked location or anything, you have to find it yourself. Great job, Bethesda. While we're up here, we might as well visit the northwestern corner of the map. I love how they try to make this area uninteresting to keep players interested in exploring areas inside the map, like it's just a bunch of boring dead trees here. But if you keep walking, you eventually can't go any further. Invisible wall. I'm obsessed with world boundaries in Bethesda games. There's such a harshness to spots like this. The world feels so limitless everywhere else, but here, it's so finite. This is where the game world ends. Turn around and go experience content. But you know what? No, I will not go experience the game world. I will sit right here and stare off into lands unwalkable, letting my mind wander as to what could lie there. Okay, I'm bored. The next spot is Walden's Pond, or rather, a couple spots surrounding it. Just south of the pond is one of the 7 wonders of the post-apocalypse, Carhenge. Did an ancient advanced civilization build this? Aliens? Or was it perhaps this super mutant behemoth? I'd say they're all equally likely. Oh, I think he's coming to welcome me to his home. Hello, good sir. Oh! To the southeast is, say, what was the deal with symbol monkeys in this game? To the southeast is another cat lover. Unfortunately, she only has a handful of cats, though I'm sure Trader Lady here is happy with the lot she has. And she has some paintings too. Glad to know that cat lovers still have a place in the post-apocalypse. I wonder if the cats ever wander over to Carhenge. They probably found it at some point, but stopped going once they discovered the behemoth wasn't the friendliest neighbor. For the last spot, we're heading to an unmarked building in downtown Boston. Mean Pastries, it's called. I'm sure they had mean pastries back in the day. They don't have anything now. Well, except for this cute cat. A singular, lonely cat. I feel bad for the little guy, trapped by himself in this 200-year-old pastry shop. Do you think he's been in here since the bombs fell? This kind of feels like an anticlimactic conclusion to the cat trilogy. It would have been cooler if we found the house with the hundreds of cats in it last, and the place with the singular cat first. It would have been more satisfying that way. Why didn't I rewrite this video to better suit that story? Great question. Alright, final location of the video. It's a spot that's built up throughout the game. It's a spot that's super memorable when you first arrive. It's a spot I can't get to right now. Thankfully, I have a time machine, so I'll just... There we go. The Institute. Walking in here for the first time and seeing how it looks is like getting flashbanged. You've been looking at rundown buildings throughout the whole game, so all this, it's like stepping into another game for a moment. The world above is fundamentally different from this one. I like looking at all the different apartments for the people living down here. This is a quaint little living space. Do you think you could live here? Some couches, a bathroom, bedroom, this, thing. Okay, yeah, maybe this is a little too sterile for me. I think I'd go crazy if I lived in this place. It reminds me of those padded rooms with white walls and floors. I'm sure it'd feel like one of those if you lived here long enough. Yeah, now that I think about it, this place does feel off. I was kinda thinking it'd feel comfy almost to be in here, but this is all artificial. Like, take these trees in the main area. It's meant to bring a bit of life to the space. But it's hard to forget that you're still in a metal box underground. Almost like a vault in a way. I wonder if they thought about that parallel when they came up with the Institute. But yeah, the water, the grass, the trees, it's just kind of a surface painting of this clinical aesthetic. It's in good condition, I'll give them that. They have people working around the clock to keep everything in tip-top shape. Makes sense to do that for the hub of your whole little society down here. But what if we were to venture away from the center of the Institute, to see what things look like just under the well-maintained surface? Let's head to the bioscience area. In here, it's super nice. The bright lights, all these plants, this fake little environment here. The Institute put in work to build this up. But what if we were to go in here, and then go up these stairs? The aesthetic shifts slightly. Things aren't as sleek, everything's a bit grimier, and there's old furniture. I can imagine something like this existing in a real complex somewhere. Like the whole place gets this beautiful redesign, but a couple of rooms get left out for whatever reason, and now they're all that remains of that old design style. But wait, what's through this door? Going through that reveals, this is rough. This definitely doesn't feel like the Institute we just looked at. I wonder when was the last time someone other than the player character stepped foot in here. How'd this get so rusted? There's a whole network of backrooms here. You explore so much of it during the final quests. It reminds me of that Simpsons joke. The Institute is beautiful on its face, but once you start to poke your nose around, you find some truly dilapidated areas. I guess even in a pristine environment, you still have to run through a dungeon of worn and rusty tunnels. That's Fallout for you. Check out my tour of Fallout 3 next. Been a while since I did that one. It's good to finally get back to the series here. I'd love to do a tour of Fallout 76 someday, but I've barely played that game. I need to give it a good playthrough before I make that video. It'll happen sometime. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.